Adjunct Professor Moran, Microeconomics 112. Some closing thoughts on this unit on consumer behavior, also known as utility maximization. You ever wondered how we can apportion our money between different goods, for example, diamonds and water? Isn't it strange that we buy that water is so inexpensive and diamonds are so expensive? And how do you apportion how many diamonds and water you buy? This confused even Adam Smith when he first created these concepts in A Wealth of Nations. Well, the way you decide how many diamonds to buy with your limited income and how much water to buy with your limited income is we apply our decision rule. The marginal utility of diamonds divided by the price of diamonds will equal the marginal utility of water divided by the price of water. So diamonds are very expensive. So the price is expensive for diamonds, but the marginal utility of the last diamond you buy is very high. Right? You're going to buy very few of them, and the marginal utility, the extra happiness you get from the last one you buy, is still high. That's going to equal, believe it or not, the marginal utility, the last unit, the amount of happiness you derive from the last unit of water you buy is low, divided by the price of water, which is low. In other words, the first sip of water you get is very important because it's essential to life. But the price of water is so low that we consume a great deal of it. So the marginal utility of the last pint of water you consume divided by the price that you pay is a very low ratio. In fact, water is so cheap, people waste it. Have you ever seen sprinklers on during a rainstorm? People don't bother to turn off their sprinklers. Well, how can that be equal to this ratio for diamonds? Well, the marginal utility of the last diamond you buy is really high. It's a luxury item. But when you divide it by how expensive the diamond is, a high number divided by a high number can turn out to be equal to a low number divided by a low number, couldn't it? And that's how you apportion how many diamonds you buy, which are frivolous but very expensive, with the amount of water you buy, which is essential to life but very inexpensive. Another application of our concept in this chapter is why didn't people originally buy CDs when they first came out in the 80s, and what led to the demise of the record industry in the 90s? Well, originally CD players were very expensive. So this resulted in a marginal utility of CD players divided by the price of CD players not being favorable to the marginal utility of record players divided by the price of record players. So people were buying record players because the marginal utility divided by the lower price was higher. The marginal utility per dollar was higher than the marginal utility per dollar of a CD player. Originally in the 80s, a CD player cost $1,000. So I didn't get my first CD player until the early 90s. By the time the 90s rolled around, the price of CD players fell. That resulted in this ratio getting higher. The marginal utility per dollar of CD players increased because of the declining price. And that caused people to buy more CD players and buy more CDs. And so now very few people buy vinyl LPs anymore because of this changing ratio and the way people apply this ratio, not consciously, but apply it unconsciously, to make the decision about what goods to buy and in what proportion to buy them. Okay, that concludes our unit on consumer behavior, also known as utility maximization.